soy ano. Now, if you don't know what ano means, anus. So I literally just said, I'm an anus. Everyone started laughing. I was embarrassed. Ahora les voy a contar otra historia, pero en español. 99% of people are going to want to help you improve your Spanish, and they're going to be kind. They're not going to make fun of you or anything when you make mistakes. I never make mistakes when speaking Spanish. Here's how I do it. Hola, I'm Nate from SpanishWithNate.com. Can we get 1,000 likes on this video? Like this video now. It really does help me out a lot. Gracias. I used to make a lot of mistakes when speaking Spanish. I would freeze up. I wouldn't know what to say. I wouldn't know what people were saying to me. I was embarrassed. I was unconfident. Yet now, that still happens to me sometimes. I wanted to make this video because you need to remember, you are always going to make mistakes in Spanish. To never ever make mistakes in Spanish is simply impossible. I actually want you to be making mistakes in Spanish. If you're not making mistakes when speaking Spanish now, then you're doing something wrong. Maybe you're staying in your comfort zone. You're not actually trying to speak to people or use new concepts. I've been learning Spanish for 9 years now. I currently live in Mexico City, and yet I still make mistakes. I mean, I even teach the language and I still make mistakes. You have to understand that making mistakes when speaking Spanish is inevitable. It's going to happen. Don't get discouraged by your mistakes. In fact, mistakes are the best way to learn the language. Let's say you go to speak with a native Spanish speaker and you make a terrible mistake. You embarrass yourself, you feel dumb and silly. I guarantee you, you will never forget the mistake that you made, which helps you to learn. In fact, you learn way more from your failures than you do from your successes. Honestly, this video is going to be really quick and short and easy because I just want to remind you, it's okay to make mistakes. And instead of getting discouraged or bummed out when I do make a mistake, I say, great, I'm still learning the language and I will forever be learning the language. Always tell my students, learning Spanish is a lifelong journey. There is never going to come a day when you're going to say, great, I speak perfect Spanish. While you can definitely get there and definitely get close, you can always be learning. It's the idea of the abundance mindset versus the scarcity mindset, the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset. If you say, great, after 1 year, I'm going to speak perfect Spanish, I'm never going to have to learn again, you're going to have a very rude awakening and you're going to suffer a lack of progress. However, if you say, great, I can always be learning something and you can be open to learning new things, you are going to massively improve your Spanish. I want to tell you a quick story about how I made a very embarrassing mistake when learning Spanish. In fact, I made this mistake here in Mexico. So about 5 years ago, I was in Aguascalientes, Mexico, which they call El Corazón de Mexico because it's more or less in the center of the country. I was with my best friend, Luis. We actually have a podcast together. If you're interested in listening to it, I'll link to it down below in the description. And I'm with him and his whole family sitting around the table and we were watching some TV. And at the bottom left corner of the TV, it says, Soy Sano. Okay, soy sano with a big S for soy and for sano. So when I read it, instead of saying soy sano, I said soy ano. Now, if you don't know what ano means, anus. So I literally just said, I'm an anus. Everyone started laughing. I was embarrassed. I got tomato red. I never forgot what that word meant. And I realized it was, soy sano, meaning I'm healthy. Don't worry about your mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. People are going to laugh. 99% of the time, people are not laughing at you. They're laughing with you. If you have a funny or embarrassing story that you'd like to share with me about a mistake you made in Spanish, feel free to leave a comment on this video. A real big problem that I see with Spanish students is that they get held back by their ego, especially when it comes to speaking with people. It is the most common issue that I see with my Spanish speaking students. They are unconfident and nervous to speak Spanish with people. And I get it. It's totally normal. But just understand that this is your ego holding you back. 99% of people are going to want to help you improve your Spanish, and they're going to be kind. They're not going to make fun of you or anything when you make mistakes. You can always be learning something new, and it is very normal to make mistakes. Don't get discouraged and say, hey, this is great. I made a mistake. I'm learning. I'm improving. And that's pretty awesome. So relax, have fun. Remember that you are always going to make mistakes, and that's okay. Ahora les voy a contar otra historia, pero en español, y voy a tratar de hablar despacio para que entiendan mejor. Cuando yo fui a México en el 2018 con mi amigo Luis, él y yo llegamos directamente a una boda. Y yo no sabía muchas cosas, cómo se saluda en México. Todo el mundo me estaba besando en el cachete, yo me puse bien rojo, como, ¡ay no! ¿Qué está pasando? Y también no entendía mucho, pero hoy en día, después del transcurso del tiempo, ya entiendo mucho mejor el español y lo puedo hablar mucho mejor. Entonces, no olvides que aprender el idioma toma tiempo, ¿ok? Pasito a pasito. No te preocupes si a veces cometes errores con tu español, es muy normal. Sigue con el camino de aprender español. Bueno, pues espero que te haya gustado el video. Si es así, por favor, dale un like y también suscríbete ya para que veas más videos chidos así como este. Muchas gracias, cuídate mucho, hasta luego. If you want to become conversationally fluent in Spanish as fast as possible, check out the Fluent Spanish Speaker Academy. Here's what some of our current members have to say. Xiaoma NYC, one of the biggest language learning YouTubers on the planet with more than 5 million subscribers on YouTube, says, "I've never met a gringo with such mind-blowingly good Spanish as Nate. But beyond that, he's a really excellent and patient teacher, which I can say from personal experience. We stand behind our program with a 30-day full refund policy. If you're not happy within 30 days, we'll give you your money back, no questions asked."